Hi, and welcome to another video interview on the Owl Studios blog. I'm Rich Dole here at the Owl Studios office. We've already given a tour of the place, the 3 desks. But you might notice there's a new addition here. Derrick Gardner, trumpet player extraordinaire, artist on the label. Derrick, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
It's a pleasure always.
It's a surprise to see you just kind of pop in the office. This is the cool part about working at a record label, when there's people on it that you like to listen to all the time. And I gotta tell you, your Echoes of Ethnicity album, I love.
Oh man, thank you.
I mean, like, not in a weird way, but I really like it.
Wow, thank you.
I listen to it a lot.
I'm getting a lot of great feedback from the record and from the music and everything, and I'm just riding the high.
Yeah.
I guess, so to speak.
Well, it's been in the top 10 of the Jazz Week radio play in the last 4, probably 5 weeks, assuming when we get the numbers this week, it'll be, I'm sure, great.
Yeah.
And I mean, before it was even released, it was chart bound.
Right.
It was already getting some buzz. So, what's the next step for the album? Do you have a tour schedule in mind, or do you have the Jazz Prophets some gigs lined up?
Yeah, I'm looking at touring the band and just putting the band out there, getting the public familiar with the band and with the music. And we have now 3 CDs worth of music to present in live performance. So I want to the best way to get the listener familiar with that is to go out and play.
Right.
You know, and just go out and hit it. Jazz club by performance venue, jazz festival, bar mitzvah, Italian weddings, whatever. You know,
right.
we want to get everybody familiar with the Jazz Prophets, and so that they know that we're here.
Right, right. Well, you can check out Derrick's stuff on the Owl Studios website. There's an artist page. You also have a MySpace page.
Yeah.
I believe we have a link to that. But let's talk about you.
Yes. Let's just make this about me.
Yes, it should be, and it is.
Here you go.
So, as a musician, there's a lot of jazz fans out there, Owl Studio fans, that I think they're curious a little bit as to what our artists do on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. So as a musician, what do you do to make a living?
Let's see. Well, that's a hell of a question.
I know.
As a musician, well, you know, you have to. You're doing it all yourself. You're not. I tell my students that I've taught in the past, you know, that, you know, this is not a thing that when you graduate, you go and interview for a job and you get a 9-to-5 thing, and you know, get to what's called a 401k thing set up. And
I've heard of those.
I've heard of those too. And everything is set up for you. So it's not like that. You know, you have to do all that yourself now, and essentially you are you're creating your own small business, and you are the product. And so, that being the case, you got to go out and market your product, which is you. And so that's what I do, and it's been very, very rewarding, very educational, and I'm playing music the whole time, you know, and honing my skills, working on my craft, and it's very, very satisfying.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, speaking of honing your skills and focusing in on your craft, how exactly do you keep because I mean, you sometimes, I imagine you're playing all the time, but there might be a few days where you're not playing, or you just said you were traveling a lot. So how do you keep your chops going? How do you practice performing and performance practice type of?
Well, you know, as a brass player yourself, you know, you got to keep that horn on your face every day.
Yeah.
And what's the thing? If if you take one day off, then you know it. If you take 2 days off, everybody else knows it.
Yeah.
You know, so I have a daily maintenance routine that I do that takes about maybe 45 minutes to an hour to complete, and that's my if I don't get to do anything at all, that if I don't get into a serious practice session that day, I will at least do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I go past my daily routine and get into some other things that I'm practicing on, then I'll do my routine in the morning, and then take a break, go do something else, and then 2-3 hours later come back and hit what I'm going to practice on. It might be like an improvisational concept that I'm trying to focus on, or it might be a tune that I'm working on, or it might be some things dealing with trumpet mechanics, you know, tonguing, or consistency of tone, keeping the air moving.
Right.
And any number of things. The brass instrument is very complex, and can be a complex and difficult thing to deal with. So you just have to take it one step at a time and deal with it. So,
yeah.
So believe me, that will take up
That's
take
true.
up your whole day.
Yeah.
If you have a day to dedicate to that.
That's true. A lot of people think, oh, you just play gigs at night, but it's really all the routine stuff, day after day after day,
Yeah.
that allows you to do the gigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the weekend or on the weeknights, and
Yeah.
to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full-time job.
That's right.
Almost.
That's right. That's right.
Well, let's see. Last summer, we released Echoes of this April we released Echoes of Ethnicity. Last summer was Slim Goody. No, that was several years ago.
A ride to the other
Right
side.
to the other side.
Yeah.
So, what about next year? What's coming up? Do you have a project in mind?
Yeah, I do. I am looking at actually no, next year I'm looking at maybe not recording, and just putting the band out there.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said earlier, getting everybody familiar with the band and the music that we have put out on these 3 CDs now.
Mm-hmm.
And then building up our audience, and then by the time we've spent the entire year doing that, then we're going to record again and put out another project. I have a few things in mind that I'm considering. Haven't really settled on any one particular concept for the recording project yet. But,
anything you can divulge to us right now?
If I did that, I'd have to kill you.
All right. Well, then we're gonna end the interview right there. Well, it's always very exciting, and if you haven't checked out Derrick's CD, it is one of my top 10 favorites. If I ever get stranded, I'm bringing that CD. It's always on my person. Not to get personal, but I always have it with me just in case I get stranded somewhere. I get to listen to it. So it's a great album, Echoes of Ethnicity, on the Al Studios webpage. Check it out. Derrick, thanks for joining us today.
Man, thank you. It's always a pleasure, man.
Thanks for stopping in.
Pleasure. Yeah, and at the cameraman, it's a great cameraman you have.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that Al Studios had like a media component.
Yeah,
it's very elaborate camera setup. Like the NBC studios.
It's exactly like that, and the lighting, it's so natural.
It is very natural. I didn't, you all are not saying this, but we have like this is actually a studio set up like an office.
Yeah, we're in the basement.
Big, huge.
Right now.
Yeah, big, huge. Studio lighting and everything.
Yeah.
It's a really elaborate outfit here, but just a lot of stuff has gone into this. So just plant you now, dig you later, and always remember.
I'm gonna write that down.
Always remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
I can't argue with that.
Confucius.